What's up, guys? First,
you gotta wait first.
Good now?
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of my Barcast. So, first of all, thanks for tuning in for episodes 1 and 2 with G. Riley and Ty Rivera. Hope you enjoyed them. Also, thank you for everybody that's been watching Fuse TV. The show, I'm proud to say, was the #1 show as of Fuse TV's history up to now. I don't know how the hell that sounded right now. I don't know if the freaking wording was good because I've already had a few drinks at the Barcast. But thank you to everybody tuning in to everything. For all the love on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Periscope. Oh shit, I promised I was going to Periscope some stuff. I'll do it in a little bit. Actually, it'll be on Periscope before it's on here, so why am I even fucking apologizing?
That's the time traveling concept.
That is the time traveling concept. Holy shit, this is crazy. This is going to be an interesting Barcast. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. The first 2 I had friends of mine that were comics. For episode 3, I decided to bring somebody in who's not a comedian, but who's very much an entertainer and a performer and just a fucking Renaissance human. Not a Renaissance man, but a Renaissance human being.
Thank you.
Period. This is my guest this week. It's Mary Maxine.
Hi.
And I met Mary in Ventura.
Yeah, the Ventura Harbor Comedy
Club.
Club.
At the Comedy Club, and you were sitting up in the front, just
Yeah.
rolling your eyes like a motherfucker at everything that I would say, just nodding your head, and your body language just suggested that you fucking hated me. Like, I was like, this chick fucking hates me. And then you hit me up on Instagram, I think, or Twitter, and
I think it was Twitter.
We hung out the next day. I met your parents.
Yeah, my grandma and I brought them all out to see Fluffy.
And what was the papers that you brought? Was it OBD or OCD or
OCB? Yeah, OCB rolling papers.
Which are my favorite rolling papers ever.
Yeah.
So let's just give them a shout out because they hooked
shout
me
out
up.
to OCB. I had all kinds of stuff. I came
Dude.
in, brought you a nice little package.
You gave me a package, and it was a fantastic package. We talked about my Instagram. You actually were the first person that made me think about Dr. Filthy's persona, because you asked me something really interesting. You asked me, is Dr. Filthy a sub or a dom? Now, Dr. Filthy is not me, it's my alter ego. It's some dude that just says random crazy shit. But I was like,
I don't know if that's an alter ego. You say random crazy shit anyway.
Well, yeah, but Dr. Filthy is more like the doctor. Like, Dr. Filthy will be like, hey, just fucking nut on everybody's face. You know, he don't give a fuck. Like, not that I give a fuck. Anyway, but you asked me that, and it made me really think, like, how do I present Dr. Filthy? Do I present him as a sub or as a dom, or do I present him as a neutral dude, like a real honest-to-goodness doctor that just can give advice on both sides of the field, not necessarily medical advice, but common sense advice based on the life that Dr. Filthy has seen. And
making it more informative for the vanilla audience that is
and so,
questioning.
So who's questioning? There's a lot of questioning people.
There's so many questions.
So many questioning people.
I mean, not as many questions with 50 Shades of Grey, but it definitely...
I hated 50 Shades.
Well, because it wasn't really 50 Shades.
Well, because it was so like... Yeah, and this is not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about some other shit, but since we're here, and I told Rick gets on my ass
for not staying on topic.
Because I don't stay on topic.
But we have to keep it interesting.
And I told him today, I said, you know what?
We're gonna roll with the punches.
Ricky, she just said some shit that made me realize that this might fucking go in different directions. Don't get mad at me. I think it'll still be entertaining. So, but since you brought up 50 Shades, I hated it. I hated every fucking minute of it. I don't know if I talked about this before.
But that's part of how it came out, because we wanted, the idea was informing people of the real sub-dom world and what it consists of, because I was telling you about my other friend that lives it 24/7.
In Venice.
Yes, Mona.
I won't say the name. Yeah, okay, you said Mona. Mona lives it 24/7, and I gotta tell you,
but
I'm fascinated. I was fascinated.
A huge advocate about it.
For 50 Shades?
No. For the
lifestyle.
world, for the lifestyle.
Dude,
yes.
Mona doesn't give a shit. Mona is a grown ass man who looks like like he could be the stunt double for the Magic Mountain guy. I don't say that in a bad way.
But in an outfit that is appropriate toward his outlook.
This dude rocks dresses and shades
tutus
and
if you've been to Venice, you know who he is.
Probably know who
you know
is.
Or who she is.
Or who she is. Or who
they identify as.
Yeah.
Is. And
but
they transcend. It transcends.
You and your friends just keep blowing me away because he said something to me like he said, I fucking hate women and I hate men. And what I did is I took the best qualities from both of them, and that's what created this. And he goes, and I refuse to ride down one side of the road. Like if there's a highway and there's a lane going this way and there's a lane going that way, you stay in your lane. But if you could see for miles ahead and you see that there's nobody coming at you, are you still gonna stay in your fucking lane? I'm probably gonna take up the whole road. It's almost like sleeping on one side of the mattress.
And
like,
that's what I try to. People don't understand when I would go to
the whole spectrum.
Exactly. When I would go to see him, to me, it's like traveling to another world. Like I've gone to a parallel dimension. He exists in this world, but in his own structure.
He's in his own fucking world.
He's in his own structure.
Yes,
She's in nothing. There's no boundaries.
There are
and
no
all
boundaries.
of a sudden, this world becomes real where there are no boundaries. There is this.
And I love that about that dude. I don't do it to that extreme, but I do it. Somebody hit me up. I was on an Uber ride the other day, and the lady was just trying to like kind of fuck with me, and I said something to her, and she started going like the la 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 la, like she was tuning it out, right? And I'm like, you're a grown ass fucking woman. La 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 is not gonna get rid of whatever I just said. So then she said, you're a leader, but you lead through fear. Why do you lead through fear? You shock people, and I was high as balls. I should preface it by saying I was high as balls. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't try to shock or make people afraid, but what
not
I
any
do
more
do,
than a Christian does when they say you're going to hell for your decision.
That's pretty ugly,
That's
right?
pretty shocking.
But what I did say to her is that I'll throw out some outlandish shit. I'll just say the craziest, most random shit is as my way of leading, because what I wanted you to feel when I'm talking to you is that nothing is not okay. Everything is okay. I don't give a fuck how twisted you think it is. I'm not going to shame you for it, or I'm not going to look down on you for it. I'm going to go along with you. I'm going to high five you, and I say, how can we make this shit even more crazy? As long as we're not hurting anybody,
exactly.
and as long as it's legal. Let's just throw that out there.
Let's put some structures.
Absolutely.
Children aren't involved in these things.
Going, la, 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 la.
Exactly. I didn't hear any of that.
Right. But you
in the adult world,
yes.
within structures and boundaries and understanding, and that's the thing is that as children, when we are constantly structured and we start cutting things that our natural creative mind does, no, you can't do this, no, and we stop the creativity. But when you live in a world where there are no no's,
it's a fucking fascinating world.
It's a challenging world of opportunities.
Yes.
Like you're challenged by opportunities. What opportunity do I want to take advantage of? Because I'm open to that challenge. I'm ready for it.
Though it's a scary world where everything's a yes, and you get very random no's. You have to have like some serious discipline, because it could get out of hand really, really quick.
Yeah.
If you constantly hear yes, because people want to make you happy.
I think, it's not a matter of constantly hearing yes, but having the ability to make yes happen.
Absolutely, but it's the same, almost the same thing. Just when you speak it, if
you have the Midas touch,
dude, then some monkey's gonna jump and make it happen. Like I'm not, by no stretch of imagination am I trying to say that I'm like reached this level of success where I'm just like like at a crazy level. I don't say that at all. But to think that that there's a lot of things that you can be exposed to. Had I had half of the opportunities that I have today in my 20s, I might not be
make the same decisions and things like that. Yeah.
If the yeses I hear today would have been yeses in my 20s, I would be a dead human being, or my brain would be completely fried, because there's nothing. I would have just gone balls out.
That's kind of how I was coming to the concept of time traveling in the internet.
Time traveling, yes.
Because,
that's what we were talking about earlier before, and I told you save it for right now. Thanks for remembering.
Well, it kind of correlates, because with the internet, no matter how old you are, you have this ability to go back in time. you have an ability, like if you have pictures of your past and you have stories of your past all of a sudden becomes present moment.
Throwback Thursday.
Exactly. So you're actually going through like a wormhole in time. You're recreating this life that lived in this other dimension, and when you put it online, you put it into this.
You bring everybody to that.
Exactly, to that time, to that frame of time. So all your
followers, all your friends, all your people that are following you.
They're going to that wormhole in time.
They're going through that wormhole too when you were 12.
And it's exactly, and just even.
It's incredible.
That's
awesome.
To me, well, it's
here, cheers.
It's that supernatural idea of how everything is current at the moment. Like nothing is new. Time exists only in now. So when you recollect anything, that moment exists only in now. And when you're on the internet, it doesn't just exist in now. It exists for all time.
I'm going to pause you right there. If you've ever seen like an astronomy fucking show with like time travel and shit like that, this is the stoner version of it. This is like we're drunk at a bar and we're doing some Nova shit.
Hold on, right? I'm not drunk.
No. No, I'm not saying, but when people are drunk or stoned and shit like that, these are the kind of conversations that
and then you're like, I wish I would have recorded that. That was some deep shit.
Oh, yeah, but now we are recording it. Just going to be some.
But the idea is, for me, being a foster kid and what I went through.
Yes, which is what we're going to talk about.
I can travel back in time at this present moment. When I was a kid, I felt like I had no voice. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't fight back. I couldn't tell anybody what was going on. And all of a sudden, even though it was in the past, it's at the present moment that I'm speaking for that girl in the past. And online, it's all present moment.
I'm sorry, when you say that girl in the past, who's that girl?
It's me.
You as a kid.
Yeah, but that person still exists now, in present moment. That girl, me, a boy, like all these kids that are in foster care, that present person exists.
Shit. Okay. So wait.
And so,
not you personally, but somebody going through the same experiences that you went through. They are living what
that
you live.
Energy so still exists. That frequency always exists.
That
in space and time.
That reality exists for a lot of people.
It's still real. It's still present moment. So I can travel back in time and still help myself. Help them.
We were hanging out one time on 3rd Street.
Yep.
And you looked and you said, those are foster kids that ran away. You spotted them. You spotted them from fucking a block away, and you could tell. To me,
because they were spanging, and you're like, "What's spanging?"
The fuck is spanging? Yeah, but to me, it would just been some fucking
spare
kid.
change.
Spanging.
Spanging. See, and those are all terms that are only significant to somebody in foster care. Like I was saying, booty juice earlier.
What the hell is booty juice?
It's Thorazine when they shoot you up with Thorazine or Melville. But those are things that are like. In my culture of foster care, in my community of foster family members, my foster brothers and sisters, people that have gone through the system.
Do you still keep in touch with them?
Yes, actually. You know, the crazy thing is that a lot of them have been coming up more lately because of the internet, because of time travel and wormholes.
So they can find you, whereas before they wouldn't be able to find you.
Yeah, we I don't know how we might have been able to find each other, but through the internet we've been able to make some connections. And it's crazy. The people that I was close to, I'm lucky to say majority of them are fairly self-reliant, independent, successful people now.
Now, there's got to be a lot of unsuccessful stories.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, for me, I don't think unsuccessful is unsuccessful. It's
tragic stories.
They're hard stories, because I could say,
dead.
Some people, but even then, like, okay, you can go through being locked up. Are you going to get out and do something else? You know what I mean? Are you going to, because I definitely think the reality of PTSD and children and foster care and dealing with growing up. Because, okay, they turn 18 and they're out of foster care and nobody's ever dealt with the post-traumatic stress of what they went through as a child. And now they have current traumatic stress because they're supposed to go to college. They're supposed to be adults. They have to make adult decisions. Where am I going to live? What am I going to do? Who do I go to?
And what tools have they been given to deal with this life? I mean,
what financial support do they have? What homes do they go to?
Financial support, the freaking. I mean, you're in there, and when you have the
social anxiety is horrible.
Yeah, because you've been. I mean,
you don't know what to talk to with people about, because my past, I'm like, oh yeah, when I was 14, I got strapped to a bed in a mental hospital and shoved full of pills. Like,
okay, that right there, so I'll be honest with you. When I met you, and we kept in touch, and I said, you know what, why don't you come out, let's hang out. I had every intention of chilling with you, tying you up, spanking you, blindfolding you, doing all kinds of crazy shit. Then you showed up, we hit the volcano, we had a fucking cup of drink, and you started talking about your life, and I'm sitting there like this, and I usually can't shut up. Like, I usually monopolize and take over a conversation, but I was sitting there listening to your story, and I'm like, I was blown away by, first of all, how open you were and willing to share it with me. But secondly, because it was just a fascinating story. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, fuck, I don't even want to tie her up anymore. I just want to fucking hug this bitch. Like, I just want to just hold her.
You've been traumatized enough.
Like, just like, come here, let me just fucking hold you. Let me go buy you something to eat.
We've been friends ever since.
Yes, I'm like, I want to do something that nobody else has done. Let me just cuddle you. Like,
I've been lucky though in that aspect. I mean, people look at it in two different ways. You're so open about your life, and how can you just talk about it without, any emotion or this and that. And for me, it was never an option to not be an advocate. If I lived my life and went through this fucking shit life hellhole of a situation just to live it and die and clock in and clock out and do nothing, what the... Like, I can't fathom that. To me, like, I feel that I was exposed to certain things in my life because I am an advocate, because I have a voice and an energy and a zeal about me that makes me want to do something. I can't... You have compassion for that, for that world. Not just that, because I started to learn sign language. I know a lot more... more. I knew that more. You imagine you're like tearing up a chick who can't talk. I started to learn more in the deaf community or culture. Mm-hmm. When I learned my niece is deaf.
Oh, wow.
And her parents don't communicate with her, right?
See, that's freaking crazy.
And I started thinking, it's really the same. I think that might be my number. I think it might.
It's all good.
Be my phone.
There's a phone ringing. We're gonna go shut that bitch off, and we're gonna turn off.
This is
what happens when you're freaking.
Hold on, you can have that.
All right. This is a little break right now. Mary's turning off her phone. I gotta tell you that. We touched on 50 Shades earlier, and I just kind of left it hanging, saying that I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I felt like that freaking movie gave BDSM a bad name. And not that I'm a huge advocate for the community, but if you're going to represent something, represent it in an intelligent way. It made it seem like you have to be completely damaged and an asshole if you're a freak. Which is a horrible thing to portray freaks as.
That's true. I could see where you're coming with that, because... I mean,
the chick was a virgin, and he still wanted to fucking just tie her up and smack her around. And it's like, you know what? If the first time I got laid,
there was a lot of dysfunction in it. There was
lots of
there was a lot of dysfunction in it, and there are a lot of healthy, well-rounded human, individuals that choose to express themselves in different erotic ways, whatever the case may be. And I remember that was one of our main conversations too when we were talking about foster care. And I'm an advocate for medical marijuana. It's one of the things that I use to cope with my PTSD.
Yes. I'm an advocate, and I'm just an advocate.
And it was something we talked about, is that I'm frustrated that we always, you see these charities of all these affluent community members that have, cheese and wine festivals to raise money for blah, 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 or some, I don't want to use the wrong politically incorrect term, but
just fucking say it.
But to me, just snobby things that they do to raise money. And I feel that in the BDSM community world, the porn world, and in the sexual, like some people would say deviance, but I just feel the sexually free
Sexually free is a fucking great term.
I think that's what it is. You know, they're sexually free. They
sexually empowered.
They understand the power of oxytocin. Of feeling good, expressing themselves.
Their sexuality isn't dictated by what's been taught and shoved down their fucking throat. It's what they choose to put down their throat.
Exactly. And the other thing was, I know that there are a lot of people in the medical marijuana world that are wanting to participate and help me when it comes to advocating for foster kids and raising money and raising awareness. And they feel like, oh, there's a stigma. Or I've had people tell me like, oh,
there's a stigma with marijuana.
Medical marijuana and porn, how can you take money from those people? Money's money, and if they want to give, I don't think that what they do makes them a bad person. Those are their personal decisions. Sure. And I think personally, if they decide to give and be a giving person, then they should be able to do that as well.
Money is not racist. It's not political. It's not freaking. It has no affiliation. It doesn't give a shit. It'll freaking the people who are trying to find who claim to be trying to find cures for cancer will take your money. Hookers will take your freaking money. People that sell marijuana will take your money. People that sell sex toys will take your money. And politicians that want to run for office will take your money, as well as priests and preachers. Everybody takes the same money.
I just feel that there's a huge demographic of human sex trafficking and foster kids and stuff like that get into these sexually exploitive worlds or things like that, and it's time to turn those things around and utilize it. Like, there's a lot of kids, while they weren't kids, now they're older, but they came out of foster care and they, for marijuana charges or whatnot, coping with their life, ended up in jail and serving time and lost more coping skills and lost more life skills.
So you've got a person who's traumatized, who wants to calm themselves with marijuana, which has a calming effect depending on the strain, but instead they want you to take the prescription thing that they can make money off for the pharmaceutical companies.
And you know what's really hard?
If you take this shit to calm down, you're good. Just don't take that fucking natural shit.
No, the really hard thing, okay, everybody hears those Respirodol commercials. Like, if you're a young boy that was on Respirodol and you develop gynecomastia, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man tits, right? Yeah. Well, when I was in foster care, I had to take Respirodol, and they had me on so much Respirodol, my vision was permanently blurred. It didn't matter if I put glasses on, I was blurred vision. And not only that, I ended up lactating at 14. Lactating. I was not pregnant. I was not sexually active. I was locked up in foster care. And so when I was going to school, I had to wear pads in my bras. I had leaky spots on my shirt. And
God.
I'm not the only one. I have friends of mine and they won't do anything because we were girls. The Respirodol lawsuit is only for boys that developed boobs. But there's nothing. And I just recently had breast cancer issues.
Did women have bigger tits because of it?
I would assume, yeah. Actually, I did.
The kids are getting them.
I did, actually.
I mean, if the boys were getting them.
My breasts were huge. I have pictures of me, actually. My mom, they would call me chichona.
Well, because you're a chick.
They won't do anything.
It's okay, because she's supposed to have them anyway, and we just fucking hooked her up.
They didn't. Horrible. They wouldn't do it. I inquired to the lawyers.
Listen, I was lactating when I was a teenager too. Not from my titties, but I'd have wet dreams and shit. And so I'd get all wet, but it wasn't because of a fucking drug that I took.
No,
it was just because
that's
I was a
natural.
kid.
Exactly.
Yeah,
those are natural things that you're gonna go through.
But that wouldn't be natural for a fucking 14-year-old to do. That's fucking.
But and for me, that's what I feel like. Like, there are lawsuits and people are fully aware that these foster children are being force-fed medication.
Yes.
They're being overly medicated. And I was one of those kids, but now because I'm too old for any records to have been kept, I'm barely becoming aware of what they fully did to me and the long-term side effects. But there's no recourse. And there are people that, are older than me that got even worse in foster care.
Oh.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I think the system, people are becoming more aware, and there are people that want to help in the system. I'm one of the people. I'm not in the system. I'm outside, but I want to help. I'm an advocate. I think there are other people like me, but until everyday people become aware, like, for example, in Ventura County, there are over 900 foster kids. Sorry, not 900,000. There are over 900 foster kids in Ventura County. Just Ventura County.
Just the county. Just Ventura
County. In
Los
Angeles County, no. But in Los Angeles County, there's over 200,000.
200,000 foster kids. Listen, and I'm going to be completely honest. Until I met you, the thought of a foster kid never even danced through my mind. It just didn't even come to my head. But once I did talk to you, with the stories that you told me, which we'll get into in a little bit, I started Googling shit. Like, I after, we hung out.
I remember you were looking up all the medications. Dude, I remember you sending me stuff and links.
And ABC had done a special undercover report or a special report on psych meds in the foster care system and how many kids that, I'm talking infants.
Oh yeah, Wellbutrin, Depakote, Paxil, Trazodone, Haldol, Risperidol, Ritalin, Adderall, Zyprexa, Paxil, Prozac.
So it's this huge dumping ground for the pharmaceutical companies, and I don't know if they're experimenting because you guys
definitely.
are a viable fucking source of
what are you gonna do? Actually, one of the mental hospitals that I was in got shut down because they overdosed a kid.
Fuck. Let me just say this, and this is, maybe I'm gonna get shit for saying this, but these are kids. These are fucking kids who have been cast to the side and whose brains are being experimented with. Let me just finish this thought. I'm gonna cut you off because I'm gonna forget. I'm a little buzzed and I'm gonna forget. We are in the middle of a huge debate as a country over shutting down Planned Parenthood. And one of the things that is that they're talking about is these fetal parts being sold for research, right? And I know that during the last debate, Carly Fiorina described this kid who was kicking, and we should be disgusted that they're gonna harvest it for the brand. Now, first of all, the video, I don't think it exists. I could be completely wrong, but I've looked for it. I can't find the fucking video. She was disgusted and urged everybody to be just as disgusted for this action. Yet, I think we should be more disgusted for the kids that are fucking alive, that we could actually that we can actually do something for, and we're not.
Exactly.
Most people don't even know that exists.
You would think, as America, that if there are children unwanted in this great United States, that we would provide them the best education, the best food. Like, hey, these are American kids that we could, like, instead of a child feeling like, I've just become a foster kid and I'm abnormal and the rest of my life is abnormal and nobody can fix me and nobody wants me. Instead of that, a foster child should feel like, I just joined the biggest family in the whole nation.
It should be a family.
I just joined all these foster brothers and foster sisters that relate to my situation.
Hold that thought, because I want to keep you here. I want to keep you here and do I want to talk more about the foster care system, because I think it's fascinating. I think that people will enjoy hearing these personal stories. But we're gonna take a little break, and then we'll come back and we'll do part 2 in a little bit. If you're cool with that, we'll take a little break, have another drink, get something. I don't know. It'll be way more. It'll be interesting.